What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Unbearable Boss here, back at it again, and I have some devastating news. This will be my last time I make a video for quite some time. I'm not gonna make another video on YouTube until I get like an awesome recording setup to where I can record games and stuff. Hopefully that will come in the future so I can start a proper YouTube channel, but I'm only posting on here because it is too long to post on TikTok. I will no longer be posting on TikTok for a very long time. Due to the fact is I lost the motivation and passion. I'm just going through a really rough time right now. And I don't know, it just hurts. I want things in my life to be better. I don't want it to constantly be like this, but it is. And it's gotten to the point where I've just lost the passion and motivation to do anything. But as promised, this is the story of why I left my last job. I'm not going to tell any names of the people I worked for or the name of the company that I worked for due to legal reasons. But if you do figure out, don't give them any hate, don't bash on them. Just don't. They're a company. I don't know what it's like to run a company, but I'm assuming you just gotta do things that you need to do, rather how shitty it is. But this is the story of why I left my last job. I started July of 2018. The reason why I got out of this job is because I was trying to get out of an internship. Because I was tricked into doing this for free labor. I was tricked into it. I really thought I was going to learn some things there. I didn't. It was just an excuse to get me and my little brother to do free labor. And that was not cool. So I was going to go buy some things for my animals, mainly my horses. And they said, now hiring. So I filled out an application. Within a couple of days, I had an interview. And within a couple more days, I got hired. And that started me on the path. And for the first couple of years, until I turned 18, I did a lot of good things and I did a lot of bad things, and I made some really incredible friends, lost a lot of incredible friends. Some of them I'm still friends with today, kind of. It was just hard to say goodbye, but it was coming. A lot of things happened that I was very unhappy about. I was trying to leave late summer of last year because of how unhappy I was. All the stuff that had happened. All the horrible things that have happened. But I'm going to just explain my reasons. One of the reasons is I was always underpaid. For the harsh labor and back-breaking work I did, I should have been getting paid $14 an hour for, at least $14, $13, because of how harsh the labor was. Like, it hurt me. It was not easy. It was not easy throwing that heavy of an object above your head. There were times where these objects were about 150, 155 pounds, and we would have to lift them over our head and throw them up. And it was not easy. There have been days where I woke up and I would just like, kill me. Because that's how bad it hurt. The other part was the constant lying. I was promised a career and opportunities, and within a couple of years the company would have gotten big enough to where everybody would get benefits, health insurance, dental insurance, retirement plans. And that's why I stuck around. Because I figured if I worked my way from the bottom up, that I could get some of that. That's what I've been looking for. That's what I've wanted. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing it because I don't have benefits or anything. I'm doing it because I'm getting bank right now. I'm getting paid a lot of money. It was just difficult. It was just hard to continue to work there between all the lying. It was more of manipulation than anything. At least that's what I think. And it wasn't. It was probably what? It was a little bit after the summer of 2020. I was trying to get my license so I could run track, so I can deliver the trucks out there. And after I got my license, I immediately started doing that, and I was promised once I started doing that I would get this amount of money, and I didn't. I didn't get that amount of money for a long time until a new manager came in and made that shit happen, which I'm very grateful for, because I don't think if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten that much money. I was still getting underpaid, but it was a start. Probably towards the end, all the stuff I was doing together, I should have been getting paid around, I want to say anywhere from 16 to 18 an hour. I think that's fair. For all the stuff that I had to do, all the stuff I had to put up with. It still frustrates me today. I was always underpaid. There was always lying and manipulation. One thing that really drove me off the deep end, this wasn't the reason why I was trying to leave. This was like the tip of the iceberg, practically. As they hired this new guy. And this new guy, he was a good person, but he did a lot of shitty things. A lot of shitty things, and he was punished for it for a long time for it. He became a good person, but before that, he was just doing some things, horrible things. And they started him out at the same pay it took me 2 years to get. And he was doing the same thing I was doing when I first started. I was beyond mad. One of my closest buddies there, I'm not going to give any names, but he'd been there, this is his 13th year now. And this year he got a demotion. Although he had the title, we didn't have the title anymore. Although he did have the pay of a manager, he did not have any of the responsibility as his ones. He was no longer in charge of his warehouse crew, in charge of me. And that really hurt us. There were days where we couldn't go on lunches because of it. All that hard backbreaking work, you want to sit down and eat. You got to keep up your strength. And after they took away his permissions, it got really hard for us. We couldn't go on lunches when we need to. There was no set time limit for lunches. There was a lot of days throughout the week where I couldn't have lunch. Just sucks. It was unfair and uncalled for. And I was trying to finish out the season before I left. That way he didn't end up doing my job, but I just couldn't do it. I was fed up. I was angry. I wanted out ASAP. Sorry if I keep pausing. It just makes me mad and angry thinking about the stuff. It's still not fair, and I feel sorry for the people that have to deal with it. My best advice is, like, don't go there and think you're going to make a career or a name for yourself. The only way you're going to get a career if you start out as a manager of some kind. Then you'll get the benefits, then you'll get the pay, and then you'll get all the promises given to you. If you're anything under a manager, don't count on it. I can understand why, being a small company, they have to do those things, but they don't have to lie to you. They don't have to build up your expectations and promise something that they can't give you. They just can't do that. It's just hard, man. Like, since late summer of 2020, I was unhappy working there. I was constantly angry. I was angry at the people I worked with. I hated the people I worked with. I had good friends, and those were the only people. Like, towards the end, there was only 2 people keeping me there. 2 people that I actually enjoyed. Besides my brother, but he came in late. He left when I did. But the main reason why I left is because of what they did to my now girlfriend. Now, I'm not going to get into the personal life of our relationship, and I'm not going to say anything. But the shit that they said and did, and my girlfriend had money, there could have been a legal lawsuit. And they could have gotten in a lot of trouble for it. Nothing inappropriate like that. It's not that type of situation. But it's just how they treated her. And I'm guessing part of that is my fault. To a point. But we met, I think it was March. We became friends of March of 2020. It was somewhere around there. I'm not really good at the time. Then in May, we fell in love with each other. We became a couple. And we've been in a relationship since. We've been in a relationship since May of last year. I'm very happy and grateful I have her. I hope I can stay with her forever. But some of the things that they did to her. If it wasn't for me needing a job, I would have left the day they fired her. And I would have probably beaten the crap out of my boss because I was legitimately unhappy with what he did and the words that he said. He could have gotten into a freaking lawsuit. He didn't care. And then the worst part is he explains himself to me, and I'm pretty sure he lied. The next day, he understood how upset I was because we were in a relationship. But I'm pretty sure everything he told me was a lie. He didn't care about me or had my best interests at heart. That's another thing. Your boss is never your friend. You may act like friends when you work with each other, but they're not your friend. And they make it very clear when you mess up. Don't make that mistake. You could have a really cool boss, that's one thing, but he's never going to be your friend. He's just not. He's the guy who signs your checks, and he's the guy that writes you up and gets you in trouble when you mess up. And that makes him not your friend. But it all started, there was this one lady that I worked with. She'd been there almost the amount of time that I've been there. Not as quite though. I'm pretty sure she's in jail now because she ended up stealing a large amount of money from the company. I want to say it was around probably $25K total, around there. told that we got punished for her actions too. Like, everybody who was in charge of the registers got questioned. People who weren't managers were not allowed to close up the drawers and lock up. It is a whole thing. But we weren't going to get any bonuses or any rewards at the end of the year. At least that's what we were told, because of what she did. And then I was really mad at her. But then when I found out when they had insurance to cover for these situations, that way none of the other employees suffer from it, then I'm mad, because that's another lie. They just straight up lied to me. The manager I had for the longest time, I could not stand. Nobody could. I'm pretty sure he was the reason alone why we lost so many employees and why we couldn't keep employees. For his actions alone. No one could stand him. For the longest time, I did, because I thought that's what a good manager was. But he was lazy. Unless he was behind a desk doing paperwork, he would not do any physical work whatsoever. There was one time when we had to do 2 days work in 1 day in order to get ahead of the track season. And I needed his help because this pallet was extremely heavy. And this was before I bulked up. This was when I was skinny and fat. And I couldn't move a whole bunch of weight. And I asked him for his help, but he freaking snapped at me saying, "This is why we hired you guys. This is what we pay you guys to do, so I don't have to do this." And I'm sitting there like, dude, I need your help. Like, you're the manager. It's your job to manage and help us. Like, to me, that was unprofessional. That was uncalled for. You have a bad day, don't take it out on people. But, anyways, I got off topic, I think. I don't remember. The main reason why I left is because of what they did to my girlfriend. And I'm going to explain some of the things that they did. The mistreatment. The other lady, the one who got fired and then arrested for stealing that money, she was the favorite. But she would always screw up my girlfriend. Like, my girlfriend was constantly switching registers because she never had a designated register, so she had to go back and forth. And this other lady, she left her name clocked in all the time. She didn't switch it. So every time my girlfriend rang up somebody, she was actually ringing it up under her name, making it look like she had more customers done, and made it look like she wasn't getting any done. When if they would have just looked at the cameras, hey, you would have saw that she would have done a whole lot more. Oh, Jesus. One of the other things I wasn't happy with was how shitty this other lady treated my girlfriend. She was always on her ass about everything. She was just trying to do the best she can. They made her work like a man. And I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything, but here's the thing. I can understand we live in a world where we're trying to have equality, but if you can't do something, you can't do something. You can't help it. There's a lot of things that I can't do that a woman could do, and there's a lot of things I could do that a woman can't do. But I'm not saying that, oh, men are superior or women are superior. We're all unique and special in our own ways, so I'm not trying to get into that. But the fact is that she tried making us work like a warehouse, man. Trying to work as hard as the guys in the warehouse. She just couldn't do it. And it ended up hurting her. She ended up messing up one of her wrists pretty bad. She ended up bruising the tendon in her wrist. And she had a doctor's note saying that she couldn't lift anything more than 25 pounds. And you know what they did? They made her lift 50 pounds, 100 pounds, making it worse on her. And she had a doctor's note. No one ever shows up with a doctor's note. No one ever says, oh, I can't do this, here's my doctor's note. They just say it and they get it. She had a doctor's note, she didn't get that. And she ended up getting hurt. It took her a long time for her wrist to freaking heal. You can see in some of my videos, I think, where she was wearing a brace to keep it locked in place. And that really ticks me off. But the one thing that made me extremely mad was what my boss said. He dragged her to the office and said some things that could have gotten him in a lawsuit. If my girlfriend and her family had money, I guarantee you they would have took him to court and they would have won. Because that's how shocking the evidence is. But she dragged her in the office and chewed her out and yelled at her and said these things. She kind of has autism to a point, but she does have it. And he didn't know that. And him being the insensitive person that he is, he freaking said, well, you must be really stupid if you think you can work in retail with autism. That's not only discriminating, but that's verbal assault on a woman. Literally, she had the money. They could have taken that to court. They could have won. I guarantee you they could have won. And then they took her days away. She was only allowed to work one day. And then she got all of her days back, and then she got fired. But how they fired her? After verbally assaulting and discriminating her, constantly getting treated like crap. I was probably one of the handful of people, besides a buddy of mine, that actually treated her with respect and treated her like a person. Out of all those people, and what we saw and witnessed, she got fired. After verbally assaulting, after hurting herself on the job, and then continuously making her work after that. I guess doctor's notes ain't good if you're not the favorite girl there. I don't know. Just a lot of things I am extremely unhappy about. And I was mad and I was angry. If it wasn't for me needing a job at that time, because it was 2020, jobs were scarce, you had to keep what you had. You lose your job, there's no guarantee you get another one. At least now it's somewhat better. Kind of. I had to stay. I would have quit that day with her. And I didn't, because I didn't have a choice. I had to keep my job. And I guarantee you, they're not the only company that's done this. I guarantee you there's more companies that do it. They've probably done it a lot worse. Like I had my favorite Hispanic restaurant that I love to eat back in 2014 when I was playing football. Literally, I would invite all my friends on the team and we would go there after a game and we would eat the best cheese dip you would ever find. And that restaurant doesn't exist anymore because they closed it down years ago because the manager wouldn't stop sexually harassing the waitresses. Yeah, that's probably a worse situation. I want this to be a lesson. When you go into a job, unless you know you're getting greatness right out the gate, don't have high expectations. You can have high expectations, but just know that they may not happen. They still haven't happened. I was told after a couple of years we would all get health insurance, benefits, like you wouldn't imagine. Here we are, like 2.5, maybe 3 years from when he said that. Hasn't happened yet. And my suspicions were confirmed when my boss was on the phone having an interview with somebody. And he said, no, unless you start out as a manager, there are no benefits. And then that's when reality sunk in. I was like, I'm never going to get that. And I didn't want to be a manager. I didn't want to be a manager of those stores. Neither one of them. All the crap that you have to put up with, like, I would like to be a manager one day, but not for them. Not for them. But what they did to my girlfriend and all the stuff that they did was the reason why I left. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. I damaged equipment. I took care of it better than most people. The other people treated it like crap. When something happened, it was accident. I busted a gas line that was hanging low from the roof because I wasn't paying attention. I blew a hydraulic line out of a skid steer. It wasn't on purpose, but it happened. I made a lot of mistakes, and I got punished for it. And towards the end, I had more enemies than friends. The one lady that works there now, I think she got transferred to the other facility. But I could not stand her. Like, my main man, Mario, he was literally driven away because he couldn't take it. Constantly getting crapped on. She was always on her ass, his ass, 24/7. And it was uncool. We didn't do anything wrong. We're still trying to figure out what we did to make her so mad. There was also racial comments because he was Latino, which wasn't cool in my opinion. And I'm not going to tell you the other part. That's probably not. Let's just say this thing could have gotten another lawsuit with the company. Let's just say that. He was driven away from this certain individual, and they rather keep this individual instead of Mario. And Mario has proven his work. Yeah, he started out rough, but he ended up being a good employee at the end of the day. But yet he was forced to leave because they didn't want to do anything about her. It's just upsetting. And I'm very grateful I'm out of there. I hope... At this point, I'd rather be jobless and homeless than to go back to work with them. That's how unhappy I was with them. Anyways, I hope you can understand. If you have similar experiences, please leave your comments down below. I would like to know what you guys think. If you had similar, tell me your tell me what your first job experience was. Mine was good at first, but then it completely fell apart and was horrible at the end. I would like to know. I don't wish them any hate. I don't want anything bad happening to them. And I hope they succeed as a company and they achieve what they're trying to do. I just wish they would do things better. That's it. Another shady thing they do is they post ads out offering you more money in a good job position just to bring people in there and be like, oh, we don't have this position, but we do have this position and it's a crappier position. It makes less money, but they take it because that's all they could find. That's just some shady stuff. But then again, there's probably a lot more companies that do that. A lot more. They probably do it better too. But you guys figure out what company I'm talking about. Don't give them any shade. Don't give them any hate. I wish them the best of luck, and I hope you guys succeed. My only request is, please, just do better. Improve on things. Do things right where you went wrong with. And maybe you'll achieve what you're trying to achieve, because I don't know at this point. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is my first YouTube video. Tell me if I sucked in the comment section below. And tell me your first job experience, or tell me if you had a really good job experience or a bad job experience. And what would you like different? Anyways, this is Unbearable Boss signing out for the final time for quite some time. But I just want to say I will still be going live on Twitch whenever I have the chance, because right now I work 12-hour shifts. I can't stay up and stream. But when I am off and I have the time, I will stream gameplay. Make requests and I will stream that. Rather it be scary games, platformers, whatever. I'll do it. It's just video making. I gotta go find the passion and motivation. I gotta get happy first before I can do that. Before I can continue. Like, comment, subscribe. I would really like to know your thoughts and opinions about this video and what your job experience was like. Tell me your story. This is Unbearable Boss, signing off.